Moms.
If I'm distracted or doing something and she's already said mom, 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 the third time she'll go, Katy Perry! And I'm like,
wow.
No, don't call me that.
It's our moment with Carol Ofori. All right, so Mom's Moment is our space. It's a parenting space, and as I've said time and time before, and time again, that Mom's Moment is for everybody. Every one of us in some ways either raising children or raising ourselves to be better humans, and this is a space where we can really reflect on the societies and the communities that we are breeding and we are living in, and what is the ethos of that, and we self-interrogate if that makes any sense. So we get into it. On Mom's Moment today, we're asking you, parents, guardians, caregivers, what habits are you modeling every day that are helping your children become capable, accountable, responsible adults? And are there any habits you might be passing on that could actually hold them back? Now, every household has unwritten rules, right? Do you model respect, honesty, kindness, responsibility, and very importantly, accountability? Or do your children see shouting, tons of excuses, procrastination, or maybe even blame, right? The daily habits we practice in our homes often become the values that our children carry on into their adulthood. For example, I'll give you a classic example. You have a 2-year-old or a 3-year-old who, for example, throws tantrums and then is nasty to the 5-year-old. So the 5-year-old is always told, share with your brother, share with your sister, share. But the 2-year-old is never told the same. The 2-year-old is told, they're a baby. Be nice, it's just a baby. Just give it to him so he can stop throwing the tantrums. And this is where we teach the one accountability and the other not so much. And these are things we take for granted in our homes that we don't realize we are breeding into little adults later on. Now, Matthew Bradley, he's an Indigenous mindset coach. He's an author, he's a spiritual mentor. He goes by the online persona of Brother Pure, okay? He's active on social media platforms, and I follow his page now because I find his stuff so interesting. He shares content centered on ancestral wisdom. And Matthew believes that your child is always learning, right? When you argue, when you apologize, when you lie, every interaction becomes a lesson. Whether your habit is coming back from a stressful day and your way of dealing with it is a glass of wine, for example. It's innocent to you, of course. You're not drinking the whole bottle or the whole case. But that becomes normalized in your child's life, right? That when you're stressed out and you have had a long day, a glass of wine will heal you. And there's other things that we may do that we're not realizing we're grooming as ways to deal with life. Sure. So here's Brother Bradley, and then we'll chat.
Did you know that your family is already a government? I mean, think about it. Every family has its own way of doing things. What's okay? What's not okay? What gets rewarded? What gets corrected? You know, that's governance. Because healthy families become strong communities. And strong communities become powerful nations. And a community is just a group of families that's living by the same values and principles. But modern culture has us believing that the future of our communities depends on politicians. You know? But the truth is, the strongest communities are usually the least affected by whoever's in office. You know why? Because they already know how to govern themselves. They don't outsource their values. They don't outsource raising their children. And they don't outsource caring for each other. You know, our ancestors understood that leadership doesn't begin in government. It begins at home. Because whatever you practice at home eventually becomes what you create in the world. So maybe the future of a nation doesn't begin at the polls. Maybe it begins around the dinner table. So before we ask who's going to lead the country, maybe we should ask, what kind of government exists inside of my own home?
Powerful, right?
Sure.
100%. So here's our question. Our children are always watching. What daily habits are you modeling at home that will either empower them or actually make life harder for them in the real world. We chat to Liesel now. Hi, Liesel in Kloof. How are you?
Hello, Mama. I'm good, thanks, and you?
Fantastic, fantastic. I believe you want to weigh in on this one.
I do. It's such an important one, and I don't think we realize we need to be really, really consistent. And I know I have failed many times with the consistency. We recently had, it's been over a period of time, but a very good friend was diagnosed with cancer about 5 years ago. And as a result, her young son obviously went through a great deal of difficulty watching her suffer and eventually her untimely passing at the end of last year. And my little daughter, who's the same age, she's now a whole 10 going on 21, I've asked her to look the other way, turn the other cheek, just be understanding to this little boy's poor behaviour over a period of time. And recently we had a little bit of a blow-up, nothing horrifically major, but a bit of a tiff. And I again asked her to please understand. And she actually pulled me in line just by the simple words of saying, look, Mom, I've turned the other cheek for a long time. You do realise I'm actually the one that's your daughter, and I need you to have my back here. And it was a very big wake-up call for me.
Right. And you know, one thing I can tell you for sure, every single parent, we all wish we could do better. We wish we knew better. And we just have to take this journey as we walk it, you know. As every day we walk it, we just learn every day. So we got to operate from a space of grace. And I'm saying this to you, that give yourself some grace as a parent. You're finding your own feet as well. In regards to your daughter and the situation, I think she's very matured. You're right, 10 going on 21. Because I think as an outsider looking in, we also need to have room for accountability, right?
Yes.
And as much as someone's going through a very, very tough time, it can't override how you treat other people. There needs to be accountability for, yes, I'm going through this, but it does not allow me to treat you in this way. Rather, find ways to help the child, whether it's through psychologists, whether it's whatever the case may be, to help them regulate themselves, that they don't hurt others in the process of going through something difficult. You know what I mean? So I don't know if this little boy is seeing a counselor of some sort, because that is extremely, that is extremely, and your daughter does need to know that when she comes to Mom and says, Mom, I'm feeling quite vulnerable, Mom will say, I understand, and give her a hug and give her a little bit of support, and try and navigate how you both can help this child, better regulate. Because it's all about regulation.
Yes.
Yeah. But thank you for sharing that. And it's so true. I think there's a lot of people listening right now who are like, oh my gosh, I didn't realize me saying to my child, turn the other cheek consistently is actually molding them negatively and making them feel like their concerns, their feelings don't mean anything. And they do, you know?
For sure.
Yeah, well, thank you for sharing. That was very vulnerable of you. I really appreciate that. And I think you've opened the door for someone, if not some people listening right now, to say, maybe I need to relook how I'm dealing with this.
Awesome. And thank you for an amazing show.
Oh, thank you, Liesel. Have a beautiful one, Mama. All the best, yeah?
You too.
All right, take care. Cheers. Bye. Oh, man. I'm hoping that as we unpack this conversation, it's really unlocking a certain way. Maybe you've been looking at something, dealing with something. Because at the end of the day, like Brother Pure says, we all little governments in our homes. We are all little governments. And a lot of the time we like to look outside to blame the outside sources for what we are breeding inside. And accountability is something that a lot of us just don't know how to cope with.
Carol Ofori, weekdays 9 to 12 p.m. East Coast Radio.